Hello everyone, what's up? So today's video, we're going to continue on with the Tarantula Mythbuster video series. Since my P.metallica is going away tomorrow, so I thought, rather than give him a long detailed video of just one of them, I thought I should just turn it up a notch and do a whole Mythbuster video of the species. So hope you enjoyed it, guys. So this is going to be very similar to the one that I did on the P. regalis video, which was number 3. So the character sheet and what I'm about to tell you is going to be old hat. So let's get started. So this is the common name of the species. It's possibly one of the most sought after pokies, most notably for their royal blue color to them. It's called the Goody Sapphire Ornamental. So these were found in the little small town of Goody in India. So they are Indian species. They're old world, so you can expect them to have strong venom, and they're pretty defensive natured, and they do not possess urticating hairs. So that's what you look for. Pokie metallica, this is the Latin name of the species. So the pronunciation, there's, as I said in the Regalis Mythbuster video, there's 3 different ones. I like to prefer the first one, Pokie metallica, because that's where we get the term Pokie from. And Metallica is pretty easy to figure out because there's a metallic band, Metallica. Okay, so the cost and availability of these species. Well, since I happen to own a lot of Pokies, and I pretty much own all of them except the Hanumila Vila Samica, which is possibly arguably the most rarest tea that you can come across to. Not as rare as the P. smithy, because I have one. Okay, so you will never most likely find them ever in pet stores unless you get really lucky, which I don't want to say that you might not be, but it may happen. These are one of the most expensive pokies out on the market, and I'm kind of surprised because the Goody Sapphire Ornamental that I bought, Mia and Sonic, were more expensive than what I paid for my P. smithy, which was 170. So as spiderlings, as well start off spiderlings around the size of about an inch to an inch and a half, I would likely to expect to pay around $200 for one. For a mature male around the 3 inches mark, I would say around 200 is not uncommon. And if you're going to buy a mature female, if you find someone that's willing enough to part off with one of the most beautiful specimens out there in the hobby, you're likely to pay somewhere in the vicinity of $500 to $900. So not the most expensive one in the world. The most expensive one is trying to find a female Monocentropus balfouri. I know Tarantula Canada had one on sale for $2,000 as a sub-adult female, and that was back in 2007, 2008, as they were just starting to surface in the hobby. So so just to give you an idea of what they used to cost back in the day, back in 2003 when they were first put on the market, Goody Sapphires were like $500 in 2003. So now it's $200, so that means people now are starting to breed them like crazy now, but they're still very much in demand, but not often as available, so this is why they are more expensive than most of them. So the relative sizes, males, females, and growth rate and longevity. Okay, so I guess I'll talk to you about longevity. Here is my mature male Sonic, as you've seen. This is his last video. I'm going to miss him all this time. Here he is. Here's that little guy. He used to be a inch spiderling that I got in 2008, so it took 3 long years, or 3 short years, to get a mature male. No, I should say 2.5 years, because he matured on April 16, 2010. I do have the date when he fully matured. I actually do have a video of it on that date, showing you that he matured onto a male. So I bought him on February 12th, 2008. So it took around 2 years to get a mature male. So they're very fast growth rates. The longevity, females will tend to live around 10 to 15. Males are probably around 3 to 4. So he probably has about a year left in him. So the relative sizes, the male that you just saw was around 6 inches. P.metallicas are one of the smaller of the Pokies. They get around to having a 6 to 7 inch leg span. It's not like as big as the P. regalis that has an 8 inch leg span, and certainly not as big as the rufulata and the ornata, which can attain a 9 to 10 inch leg span. I've seen Clover Robsey's specimen. It's probably one of the biggest ornatas that I've ever seen. So I'll show you Mia. She is a juvenile female. She likes to hide a lot. Yeah, you probably can see the leg right there. Okay, perfect. Alright, so now we'll talk about enclosure sizes. Okay, slings. Here's a great one. This is what I used to house Mia when she was young. This one here is my P. Smithy. Pretty similar the size. So as slings, they tend to burrow. So what I usually do is put some substrate in here and put some like sphagnum moss for extra humidity in here. Then for P.metallica juveniles, I recommend getting these 32-ounce deli containers, like you just seen my male P. fasciata in. All you do is just fill it up with eco earth and add your cork bark, and it's a great place to house one. For later juveniles, the size of like 4 to 5 inches, I recommend the Rubbermaid jars from Walmart. As you can see, houses my P. Miranda very happily. She's approximately like 5 inches. You can see how fast they are. This is why I don't recommend to the beginners. And for adults, especially for like an ornata, you can house them in 5-gallon tanks on its side. It's up to you. That's actually preferable for most large arboreals. You can house them in 10. Or if you really don't have too much of a space, I recommend these critter keepers, the ones by Phanarium, which has a big place where it can hide. You can actually put them on the side and actually be good. So this is pretty much what you see. This is the regalis enclosure. It's just 2 cork barks mounted on a concave so that way you can hide under there, and a water dish. That's pretty much all you need for a basic enclosure for a Pokie. And you can see my Pokie here. You can even house them in those standard critter keepers. Just make sure that it's in an arboreal setup, not in a terrestrial setup. And you see he's doing really fine in there. And these are all sperm webs here, by the way. Okay, so now for the care sheet, humidity and temperature. Keep it around 75 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. It's pretty much, like I said in many of my Mythbuster videos, I tend to keep them around 80 in the 80 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit in the daytime with the heater, and I drop it down to 76, 77 at night. You'll do fine. And humidity, 80%. You just mist around once a week, and make sure you have your open water dish in there, and that's fine. For slings, I don't offer water dishes because they're too small for them, so I just keep the substrate a little bit rather moist. So it's something I have to do very soon. So temperament and handleability. I really don't recommend handling Pokies at all because they have particularly very bad bites. So check on Rob's channel and you'll see how badly he got bitten by his P. ornata and his P. regalis. They generally have the same venom. symptoms do vary, but you can expect to have cold sweats, intense pain around the bite area, severe leg and muscle cramps, extreme nausea, and so forth. So also, these are very quick species too. P.metallica, in my opinion, happen to be one of the more nervous of the species. They really despise light. They're very photosensitive. So every time I shine light on my mature male and mature female, she'll run about the enclosure, just like you saw my Miranda did. But in general, some of them are actually pretty calm. Just my specimens are rather nervous from experience. So breeding, they're pretty much like other Pokies. They don't really get much egg sacs. As you saw Rob see, he just opened up his P.metallica sac, and unfortunately most of them died off mysteriously. I have no idea how that could have happened. So he only has one left. So it depends on what. Sometimes you'll get maybe 20 to 50 if you're lucky. Yeah. And then recommendations, it's a great species. It's probably the most sought after species you can have. If you have a Regalis, you pretty much are ready for other Pokies. People ask me, oh, I have a Regalis and I want to get another Pokie, which one would you prefer? Well, it's really what you want, really. They generally, all Pokies have the same temperament and the same care sheet. It's just how much money you want to spend on it. So if you have the money for a $200 Spiderling, heck, go for it. It's a really unique species. It could easily be one of your favorites. Awesome. So I do hope you enjoyed watching this Mythbuster video. I do hope it helps you, and thanks for watching.